Hello again, BookTube. Chelsea, the Reading Outlaw, here to do a dual review of two graphic novels that I finished in the last week or so. The first is Bitch Planet, written by Kelly Sue DeConnick and Valentine DeLandro. The second is Porcelain, a gothic fairy tale, written by Benjamin Reed and Chris Wildgoose. Here they are again. We will start with Bitch Planet. I read the first two single issues of Bitch Planet way earlier in the year. I think back in February. No, back in April? May? It was sometime after I went to work after maternity leave, so it would have had to be in May. But I borrowed them from a friend of mine at work who's also a comic junkie. This is the first 5 issues, all in their first volume 1 bind-up. I adore Bitch Planet. I will just put that out there to start. I love Bitch Planet, but I do not love it for its artwork. As you can see, it's just got kind of a very like kind of classically sketchy, not super detailed, kind of like washed out color palette scope of everything that's happening. Not my favorite art style, but that being said, the concept and the story of Bitch Planet is one of my absolute favorites. Basically, Bitch Planet is the kind of colloquial name for an off-site auxiliary containment unit where women who are deemed non-compliant are sent. And in order to be deemed non-compliant, you have to do pretty much anything that the patriarchy decides that it doesn't want you to do. So whether you are too thin or too fat or too brown or too loud or too violent or too rambunctious, or you insist on not being a doormat, you can be labeled non-compliant by your husband or by your significant male other and sent to Bitch Planet against your will. And because of that, there are obviously a lot of women in Bitch Planet who are very angry. And who are very, fuck the patriarchy, fuck the police, bring down the man, all of that good stuff. And within that, there is a national sport called Megaton. And basically, it's kind of like a team Hunger Games. Slash like American Gladiator, old gladiator style battle. Basically a literal fight to the death, and the top team wins fame and glory and reputation. And the organizers of the sport are losing viewers. They are losing interest, so they go to Bitch Planet and tell the women that that they're going to get a team, that they're going to get to compete in this worldwide televised competition of death and violence. So I bet you can see how well that goes over. The first volume ends shortly after their first practice with the guards, where some things go down that get a little bit sketchy. It ends on a bit of a cliffhanger. I am super excited for volume 2 to come out. I will say one of my favorite parts about Bitch Planet is at the end, I'm going to try not to show spoilers. At the end of every issue, they put like the old school, like comic book looking ads, but all of them are like, fake. They are about being non-compliant. They're kind of ads for products to make women more compliant. And as the single issues go on, they get more and more serious. So like in the first issue, we have things for Gynetize, patented 3D gynocoin with 25 lessons in gynetism, Bitch Planet poster, protect your face, advertising like the guard masks that they wear. But if you keep going, at the end of like the 3rd and 4th single issues, they have things like stats on domestic violence, or actual 1-800 like toll-free numbers to call if you are fearing for your life, or if you feel like you are not, that you're in a dangerous place. Sorry, I'm like I didn't realize how dark it was getting outside. I'm losing most of my good lighting. But so anyway, so that is Bitch Planet. I can't believe I've already talked about it for 4 minutes. I'm going to move on to Porcelain. But basically, the art style may not be the greatest, but it's one of those that's really heavily story-based. And if you are into feminism or bucking the patriarchy in any way, I would definitely recommend this one. And then we have Porcelain. For those of you who watched my December TBR a couple weeks ago, a couple weeks ago at this point, you would have seen that I was gifted this. It's already got, I'm really sad. I'm sorry, Caitlin. It already got a little bent. It got into the hands of the baby before I could stop him. But this is Porcelain. This is an independently published graphic novel. It's called A Gothic Fairy Tale. It's written by Benjamin Reed. It is, as opposed to Bitch Planet, it is absolutely stunning. There are so many good panels in this comic that are just so detailed, so well colored, So absolutely gorgeous. This is one of my favorite dual spreads. And so what is it about? The book is about Child, and Child meets the porcelain maker when she is dared by her ragtag gang of street urchins to sneak into his house, which is supposedly haunted by an evil wizard. Obviously, the porcelain maker is not an evil wizard, and he kind of takes Child under his wing. He gives her everything he wants, except for other human companionship, and so she starts to get lonely, and she kind of goes snooping in some places that she shouldn't. It's a very sad story. When I reviewed it on Goodreads, I described it as kind of like a Little Orphan Annie meets Bluebeard. And so there are definitely some kind of harder hitting themes in this: death, loss, companionship, parenthood, childhood, all of those things. But it's really just a very beautiful story about this man who, out of his own loss, has created this world of porcelain figures. That's why he's called the porcelain maker. He makes all of these, like he has a set of porcelain guard dogs, and all of the kind of help around his home are porcelain butlers, and it's just really artistically done and beautifully told. I wish I had more to say in that it's just so perfect and so lovely, and it ends in such a way that I am so, so excited to get the second volume. And there were several tiny tears shed throughout Porcelain, because there are some times when it just is so heart-wrenching. There's a little dash of kind of adventure and mystery in there too, but really it is just this beautiful but sad story about Child and the porcelain maker, and how their lives connect and intertwine, and how they can kind of move forward once they have begun to know each other. So definitely one I would recommend picking up. Like I said, it's independently published, so if you have a hard time getting a hold of it, let me know and I'll see if I can point you in the right direction. But if you can find it, I absolutely would, because it's definitely one of the better graphic novels that I've read this year. And there you have it. That is my dual comic book review / wrap up. I hope you enjoyed. If you read either of these two, please let me know down below so that we can chat about it. Let me know if you're thinking you might pick them up. And as always, you can like, subscribe, and I will see you guys around the internet. Bye.